I've been in your waters. I'm looking for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other.
Hey, good people. Now, this is probably my favorite thing about foldable electric bikes. Now, I actually prefer the 26-inch fat tire bikes, but you just can't do this with those, right? You can't do this. Now, the one thing about it is these bikes can be pretty heavy. This one's about 65 pounds, so you do kind of have to keep that in mind. Now, your boy's been working out, so I can wheel this thing around like nothing. It ain't nothing. Now, this is obviously a review of a foldable electric bike. I mean, it's an obvious, important feature, so we got to talk about it, right? Let me show you how to do this. Let me do it in a way where you can see. So you're basically just unfolding it, just like that. There's a clamp here that clamps it in place. Same thing for the handlebars. There's a clamp here. And that locks, that does not move. There's a little button here that you have to press in order to disengage this lock. And same thing on the handlebars. And we'll just put it down, put the kickstand down, and we're good to go. We're ready to ride. Now, a feature that I have seen on a few other foldable electric bikes is this little bar right here. So when you fold the bike up, you can rest it on this bar and you won't have to rest the bike on the pedals. And speaking of which, this one has foldable pedals, and it actually does make a huge difference to me when I'm putting the bike in my trunk, because you don't want to rest all of that weight on your pedals. Just doesn't seem like a really good idea, you know what I mean? So the fact that it has the ability to fold is a little thing, but it actually makes a big difference. All right, so what do we have here today, you guys? We've got the fifth wheel Thunder 1FT foldable electric bike. Now, I've got some notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything, but this is probably the most unique electric bike I have reviewed thus far. I mean, it's different, but I'm digging the way it looks, and it looks rugged to me. This thing looks like it can take a beating, but we'll have to see about that, of course. Let me say this right off the rip. On paper, in terms of the specs, it's not the most spec'd out electric bike, foldable electric bike that you're gonna find. The one thing I was surprised about is it only has a 500 watt motor, but we're gonna talk more about that because I think you'll be surprised at how peppy this thing is. It only has a top speed of 20 miles per hour, which is something that I know a lot of you may not like, but once again, it gets up to the top speed really, really quickly. All right, we're gonna talk more about some of the features of this bike in a few moments, but first I'm gonna rattle off some of the more notable specs. This is all stuff you can get from the website and, off the product listing. But again, I think these are things that you would be most interested in. These are things that I'm most interested in. So once again, it has a 500 watt rear hub motor with an 800 watt peak. It has a 48 volt, 10 amp hour battery. 10 amp hours isn't the highest that I've seen, but this battery is actually UL certified. And that's actually a notable point because a lot of these electric bike batteries don't have that certification. This one does. It has a 48 volt, 22 amp controller, and it has an advertised range of 31 miles when you use throttle only and 50 miles when you use pedal assist. Now, just like if you're into drones, when they advertise flight time, you might as well cut 5, 6 to 10 minutes off of that because they're testing it in ideal conditions, maybe in a laboratory or something, I don't know. Same idea here, 31 miles and 50 miles. We're likely not gonna get either of those numbers, but we'll check it out. Max speed of 20 miles per hour once again, max load of 220 pounds. So if you weigh more than that, you know, you got to keep that in mind. And once again, it weighs 65 pounds. If you look at the form factor, it's different. It's really different, but I dig it. I really like the way this thing looks, man. Okay, guys, if you want to skip ahead to the ride test, please feel free to do so. I got timestamps down below, so go ahead and do that. I know there's a lot of you that do appreciate the detailed information, so just trying to accommodate for all of you guys. So we're gonna go into a little bit more of the details here, and then we'll get out for that ride test, you guys. All right, so of course, the thing that stands out the most on this bike is that rear suspension, that bright red spring here. It does look like you can actually adjust this. So if you wanna make it stiffer or looser for a more cushy ride, just depending on your weight and preference, you can do that. I didn't find a need to do it at all. I have already ridden the bike a few times, and I do feel like it does make a difference. It's not just cosmetic. It's actually a functional shock absorber. Then in the front, you can see here, you have front suspension. Not sure what the amount of travel is here. Let me see if I have anything in my notes. Nope, I was not able to get the amount of travel, but you can see that you can lock this, all right? So if you want it to be stiffer, you can lock it out. And then on the other side, you have your preload here as well. Hopefully that's focusing in for you, but it's right there, okay? So the Thunder 1FT comes in this metal gray or gunmetal that you see right here, but it also comes in orange and white. I'm digging the gray. I don't think I want to ride around in a bright orange, on a bright orange bike or white bike for that matter. If I had a preference, I think I would go with the gray here. So I'm glad this is the one they sent me. And once again, you've got the 500 watt rear hub motor here. Peaks at 800 watts. I could not find a torque rating. So where that comes into play most is on inclines and hills. So we'll do a hill test. We always do a hill test, see for ourselves how it does. And like I said before, with the motor only being 500 watts, I'm gonna pay close attention to that. I'll let you know if it's enough power for this bike or not. But it is peppy. Now, this particular e-bike has a cadence sensor versus a torque sensor. Now, one thing I do want to point out about this is you have to start pedaling for a couple of seconds before the motor actually kicks in. So there's a little bit of a delay. That's different from any other electric bike that I have ridden thus far. So you have to start pedaling, get a couple of revolutions. It takes a couple of seconds. And that's whether you're throttling, using throttle or pedaling. So you're not going to be able to just hop on this one and press on the throttle and get moving. You have to start pedaling first, then you can engage the throttle, and then the pedal assist will kick in. So that's pretty unique. I'll actually demonstrate that for you guys when we do the ride test. This is a Class 2 electric bike. Again, it tops out at 20 miles per hour. I don't know of any way to unlock that for higher top speed. I like to have at least 25 miles per hour, but again, we'll see how we feel after riding this one for a while, whether that 20 miles per hour is adequate. Okay, guys, so we're going to take a closer look at the battery, but here's a look at the key. You get two keys, and this is how you remove the battery from the frame. So the battery is right in the frame here, and you're just going to unlock this, and it slides right out just like so. Okay, so here's your battery, and it even has a battery level indicator on it. So you just push that button. As you can see, our battery is full, and here's where you will find the charging port for the battery. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing back inside of the bike. Make sure we have it in the right direction. We're just going to slide it on in, and you should hear it click and lock in place, so it's secure. Now we can just go ahead and pull the battery out, and we are ready to go. Now, we've already talked about the battery, which is housed right in here. We talked about how you can charge the battery itself, but you can actually charge the battery while it is still inside the bike. So that is really cool. So you don't have to remove it. if you don't want to. You do get a fifth wheel branded 2-amp charger, and charging time is advertised at 4 to 5 hours. I haven't been able to substantiate that. If I do, by the time of this video, I'll put whatever that is up on the screen, how long it actually takes me to charge it up from empty to full. All right, let's talk about the lighting system here on this bike. To turn on the front light, you're gonna double press the power button here, and you will see a little headlight symbol show up on the display there. And there's the light. I'll try to get you some shots at night or later in the day, just so you can see how bright that is and whether it actually lights up the path. And I'll go ahead and turn this off so I can save on that battery. I'll go ahead and power it down. And now let me show you this rear light. As I mentioned, it's not a brake light, and you actually have to turn it on. It has its own power. And I think you can charge this by, I think it's like USB, I believe. Let me take a quick look. No, it doesn't look like it has rechargeable battery. So looks like there is a battery inside of there that you will need to replace. So that's kind of a bummer, but good that there's something on it, I guess. I mean, it's good that it has something, so if you're riding at night for identification purposes and things like that, so people can see you. But I've grown accustomed to having a brake light, so I think I'll really miss not having one on this bike. Okay, now let's check out the display. You've got 2 buttons here. You've got the power button and a mode button to turn on the display, and actually to turn on the bike, you're gonna press and hold the power button. And there we are. So you can see we have a speedometer, battery level indicator. We've got pedal assist level, and the odometer or trip. Now to switch between trip and odometer, you're going to double press the mode button. So double press, and you can see it switched over to the odometer. You see I put 15 miles on the bike already. Switch that back to the trip. Right now the bike is in pedal assist 3. To switch pedal assist modes, to decrease the modes, you're going to press the mode button once. That takes us down to 2, to 1, to 0. To increase, you're going to hit the power button once, as you can see there. So 3 pedal assist modes. Another nice unique thing about the bike is the tires. So we've got CST branded 20 by 4 inch fat tires, and I really like these. Folding bikes, like I said before, usually have 3-inch wide tires, so I'm really glad to have the 4 inchers. To me, it just gives you a smoother ride, and it allows you to handle various types of terrain. This is a hard tail, so no rear rack, but it does come with these metal fenders. These things are metal. Let's see, I can tell you. So usually they're vinyl or plastic, so that's really, really nice to have nice metal mud guards. And here is the 6-speed Shimano thumb shifter, but shifting seems to be really smooth and responsive so far. And you do have a nice derailleur guard down here. Let me show you. And I am seeing that with a lot of the, with most of the electric bikes now. Especially with the ones that fold, if you're going to be putting the bike on its side, you don't want to be impacting the derailleur there. So it's nice to have that guard right there. So that's really, really nice feature. Oh, let me turn that rear light off. I want to burn the battery up. Mechanical disc brakes with 160 millimeter discs here. This bike did come with a bell, but I actually couldn't figure out how to get it mounted. It seems like the handlebars are just too wide, or too thick, I should say, to accommodate for that bell. Let me turn that power off so we can save that. Now, one thing to keep in mind about this bike is you cannot adjust the height of the handlebars. All right, that's as tall as they're going to get. You cannot adjust these, okay? So it does make you, or at least it makes me, kind of sit more forward in a more aggressive riding position. So far, it hasn't bothered me at all. Like I said, I am 6'2", so I'm a taller rider. So far, I haven't had a problem, but I've only put about 15 miles on it. We'll see how I feel after more miles. Now, so far, the seat seems to be pretty comfortable. Haven't had any issues. We'll see how I feel about that after putting a few more miles on it, maybe some extended riding. You can change the height of the seat post there. It accommodates me just fine. It accommodates my wife. Like I said, she's 5'4", 5'5". I'm 6'2". So it's going to accommodate riders of either height. Actually, the range is 5'3" to 6'2". And then let me show you the cable management. Pretty good. Most of the cables are running through the frame. This is mainly where you're going to see the cables out here in the front. And you are going to see some wires down here as well. Hopefully I'm getting that in the frame. But pretty good as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't look sloppy at all. Looks nice and neat. Okie dokie, we've gotten through all of that. Now it's time to ride. Let's get this thing out on the road, y'all. Come on. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our speed test while we have full battery. But the very first thing I wanna do is show you how the pedal assist actually works for this bike, which is pretty unique. So right now the bike is in pedal assist 1. I'm gonna take it down to pedal assist 0, and you cannot, the throttle won't work in pedal assist 0, obviously, but it also won't work in any of the pedal assist modes. So pedal assist 3, I don't know if you can see that, pedal assist 2, pedal assist 1, no throttle. Now, the reason for that is you have to start pedaling for a couple of revolutions before the pedal assist will actually kick in, and even before you can actually utilize the throttle. So I'm going to take it down to pedal assist 1, and you will see this. I'm going to start pedaling, and now the motor kicked in. It actually was a half a pedal there, so it was actually much shorter than I mentioned. So we are in pedal assist 1 mode. I'm going to take the bike out to the main road here, so we have a good stretch to do our speed test. And we're up to 18 miles per hour, 19 now. Hi. So this is in pedal assist mode 1. So while you're pedaling, you can get up to the top speed of 20 miles per hour in any of the pedal assist modes. From what this appears, but we'll test that out. We'll do this systematically. There's people coming that way. Maybe we'll go this way. I just want to get a nice stretch, uninterrupted stretch. Okay, so 500 watt motor, 800 watt peak, those numbers, aren't going to wow anyone, right? But I feel like this bike is so zippy that I don't think I'm gonna be underwhelmed. So, but you're gonna have to be the judge for yourself. So I'm gonna put a time clock up, and what we're gonna do, we're in pedal assist 3, we're gonna time how quickly the bike gets up to its top speed of 20 miles per hour. We're gonna do pedal assist, and then we'll do throttle only. All right, so ready, set, go. And I'm giving it some Gadget inspector power. 17, 18, 19, 20. We are up to the top speed. We're actually at 21 now. So, yeah, we got up to the top speed. I don't know, was that 5 seconds? 5, 6, 7 seconds, something like that. All right. We will stop and start again. We'll do throttle only this time. Wow, didn't feel that at all. That suspension really does work. All right, now from a stop, we are going to engage the throttle. Of course, we have to start rolling first, and throttle only. See how quickly we get up to speed. 14, 15, 17, 18, we're up to 20. And I can definitely feel that speed limiter slow me down. But as you can see, the bike is zippy. It gets up to speed really quickly. Top speed is not that high. I do wish we had more speed, at least 25 miles per hour. But yeah, so that was our speed test, you guys. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna test these pedal assist modes. So it seems like it doesn't matter what pedal assist mode you're in. If you're pedaling, you're going to reach the top speed of 20 miles per hour, but we're gonna test that. So let's start with throttle only first. We'll go down to pedal assist 1. And once again, it won't kick in until we start rolling. And throttle only, I've got the time clock up as well. See how quickly we get up to speed. Pedal assist 1, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so it doesn't matter what pedal assist mode you're in. You will get to the top speed throttle only. So let's see if that's the case with pedal assist. Okay, so we are in pedal assist mode 1. Let's start pedaling. All right, the motor kicked in, and I'm just gonna pedal. We'll see how fast we can go in pedal assist 1. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, let's see what happens if we go up. So we're in pedal assist mode 2. It's not gonna give us any more speed, so I'm not sure what the pedal assist modes are for here. And put it in pedal assist 2. Do the same thing over again. Get this thing moving. Once the motor kicks in, that's when I'll start the clock. Come on, there we go. All right, time clock has started. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. Put the time up on the screen there. And as I'm riding, I cannot tell the difference between these pedal assist modes at all, you guys. Cannot tell the difference at all. Okay, pedal assist 3, time clock has started. Let's see how fast we get up to 20. That does seem faster. Okay, we're up to 20. So maybe that's what it is, you guys. I'm not real sure. Was not expecting that at all, because most electric bikes, when you're in the lower or when you're in each pedal assist mode, it's going to cap you at a certain speed, which makes sense, right? If you want to stay, you know, within like 10 miles an hour or something like that, maybe you stay in pedal assist mode 1. Then you go to pedal assist mode 2. That'll take you up to 15 miles an hour and so forth. Some bikes have 5 pedal assist modes. So yeah, not sure about that. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put this thing in pedal assist 0, and we're going to pedal using only Gadget inspector power. So I like to do this just in case, you know, you run out of power, the battery runs down, and you don't have any pedal assist. How hard would it be to pedal the bike? And so it's not so bad once you get it rolling. And when you're on a flat surface like this, I'm up to 11 miles an hour. So 12. It's not too bad, but I think it would, you know what, I can lower the speeds here. That's better. That's a lot better. That's a lot more comfortable to pedal. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I'm sure it would be much tougher going up a grade, of course. But if I had to pedal this bike in a pinch, I could do it, especially with the ability to go to lower gears. And I'm getting some good cardio in, man. And I think that's one of the misconceptions about electric bikes. Even with the pedal assist, you know, you can get a good workout in on these bikes. You know, if you're not just laying in on the throttle and you are actually pedaling the majority of the time, you'll feel like you've done something. At least that has been my experience. Okay, so we have ridden about 2.7 miles so far. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll over here. There's a spot here at the park that I like to test these bikes on. There's a pretty steep hill over here. So we'll go over and see how the fifth wheel does on that hill. Now, once again, this one has the 20-inch by 4-inch wide fat tires. So it does really well on different types of terrain like grass and gravel and whatnot. And I have another spot, maybe we'll hit that spot as well, that has some pretty nice trails. It's all gravel and wood chips and stuff, so that'll be a good test. But we're gonna come over here and do a little hill test. I have a couple other hills that I'm gonna take it on that are longer. This is a pretty short but steep hill. So I like to test the bikes on this one because it's on grass. So we're gonna go down. And this suspension is really, really good. I can really tell the difference from other e-bikes I've tested without any kind of suspension. Usually they'll have front suspension, but sometimes they're pretty crappy. But this is really, really comfortable. All right, let me see how much speed I can get so we can get rolling pretty good. All right. Got up that no problem with that 500 watt motor, you guys. You saw that, so pretty good, pretty good. I used to do brake tests with these bikes, but I think it's kind of silly. These are mechanical brakes. Stopping power is fine, you know, and this one doesn't go above 20, so I don't think there's as much concern about stopping powers. When you get up to, you know, closer to 30 miles an hour. But yeah, you can lock up the brakes and stop pretty good with this one. I don't think that's really any concern at all in terms of stopping power on the fifth wheel Thunder 1FT. Now there is one thing I do like to do with these bikes is to just validate the readout, the speedometer. I didn't bring my phone holder, so I gotta hold the phone, but this is just the GPS app that I like to use to just substantiate the speedometer. And looks like this one is fairly accurate. Sometimes they're off by 2 or 3 miles an hour, but this one is, I say this is darn spot on. So no worries there. Yeah, I've gone over some bumps here and ridden through the grass. The suspension is legit, you guys. It's definitely legit. And the reason I'm confident in saying that is because I've ridden other electric bikes with suspension. Mainly, I don't think I've had any that had rear suspension, but I think all of them, or most of them, had at least front suspension, and some of them are just really not that great. This one is pretty good, as you've got the preload here and that rear shock. It's not just for looks. It definitely works. It's definitely a functional shock absorber. It actually changes the way you ride, right? If you know you've got really good suspension on the bike, you're more, apt to go over rough terrain. And I don't find myself having to stand up, when I go over a rough patch. I don't find myself having to stand up at all. This thing maneuvers great, you guys. Okay, y'all, so we're headed to, well, actually, this is it. This is the hill or one of them that I always like to test these electric bikes out on. Sun came out, so it's really nice right now. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we are going to first climb the hill in pedal assist mode. So I'm just going to pedal, and let's see how easy or difficult it is. And we're gonna see what kind of speed we can maintain going up this hill. It's a pretty steep hill, pretty good grade, and it goes on for quite a while. So this is usually a really good test for these bikes. We're at 13 miles an hour. I'm gonna gear up. Pretty much maintaining that 13 miles an hour up the hill here without any trouble at all with this 500 watt motor. Again, I was not able to find any information on how much torque this motor produces, but I would say it's adequate. So we're riding with nothing but throttle now. I am in pedal assist 3, but like I said before, I don't know if that makes any difference at all. But 13 miles an hour, 12, 13. Maintaining that 13, just like I was in pedal assist. Same deal, actually. 14 now, it's picking up speed. Okay, guys, so I would say once again that this bike has reasonable amount of power. Okay, take a look at the hill we just climbed. This bike did it no problem. I'd say it has adequate power, you guys. Okay, we're gonna go to the second hill that I like to test and see how it does there. Okay, we are at the little park I like to come to. There's trails back there. We're gonna go check those out. Now we're on a little bit different terrain, and the hill that I like to test bikes on is back that way. We're gonna check that out, but thought I'd come over here real quick and see how it does here. There's still snow over here. And this is where the 4-inch wide tires really shine. You just get better handling. Let me see if you get any slippage here. No slippage at all. I just tested a bike that had 3-inch wide tires, and when you lean into a turn like this on that bike, it slides really bad. This one, I'm not having that. So let me try it again. Got my leg out just in case. Little slippage, but you feel confident. And that's the other thing about this bike is it looks like it's built sturdy. It feels sturdy to me. And I'm honestly, I was not expecting to get that impression from this bike. I just wasn't. I like the way it looks, but it just, I don't know. When I looked at the specs and I agreed to do the review, I thought this one might not turn out that well, but I have been pleasantly surprised. Okay, so we have ridden about 6.5 miles so far, and we have just dropped one battery bar. So just so you have a sense of where we are in terms of range. Okay, we're headed up the hill. This is pedal assist only. And this is a pretty good grade here. It gets steeper as we get closer to the top, down to 9 miles an hour. And I am holding this 360 camera, so I'm not able to really lay into the pedals as much as I normally would, but you can see there, got up the hill with no trouble at all. Just zero issues in terms of hill climbing ability, you guys. Okay, can't really make this up, so what you see is what I'm experiencing, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go back here and ride these trails, but wanna get you some shots of how the bike looks with me on it. The way this frame is set up, there's nowhere to mount this extension pole for the 360 cam. So I have to hold it, but when I get back there on those trails, I'm not gonna be able to one-hand it. I probably shouldn't be doing it back here either on this terrain, but it's for science. All right, so we're gonna ride over various terrain here. That's why I really like this park. It's an old farm that they have preserved as a park. So there's trails all back in here. So we're gonna, hopefully it's not too wet back here. I don't know if we wanna do this now that I think about it. Right, yeah, I think it's gonna be too muddy. So what we're gonna do, yeah, that's all mud through there, geez Louise. We're gonna head back out and see if we can just hit the trail that has the wood chips and whatnot, which should be a little more firm and less muddy and wet. And this is where those mud guards, those fenders come in handy. But looks like I may doing some maybe doing some cleaning. All right, so from grass to gravel, and once again the suspension is great. I have to tell you, it's really good. And this is in comparison to other electric bikes I've ridden that don't have it. Yeah, it's still a little bit wet back here. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, it's a little muddy. I'm not sure we're going mudding today, you guys. I'll go as far as I can just to check it out, but yeah, it's handling this terrain without any issues, as you would expect with the 4-inch wide tires. Yeah, it's handling it no problem. This is probably a bike that I'm going to be riding a lot because it folds. It has the fat tires, so I could take it a lot of places. Right? I could take it a lot of places, and it can go a lot of places because of the ruggedness of the frame. Jeez. The ruggedness of the frame and the tires. Now I'm on concrete here. And it looks like this is more rocks now. We're cruising, man. I wonder what these cans are for here. They're all over the place. They weren't, I didn't notice those last time I was here. Yeah, this bike is great, you guys. This bike is great. It's just like, it's similar to riding my Adventure 2 and also that Muck Pet Suburban I did a review on. Those are 26-inch tire fat bikes, or 26-inch fat tire bikes is what I'm trying to say. So those are big boy bikes. Those are really big bikes. 26-inch tires, 4-inch wide. So again, this bike has the 4 inchers, so you're gonna get similar performance out of this bike, but it's portable. It's way more portable than something like the Adventure 2. Let's go up this way. It seems to be drier back here, so we're doing well. You can really hear that motor kicking in back here. Didn't really notice it before, but I'm definitely noticing it now. Let's go this way. So I'm doing a combination of pedaling and throttle, especially as I'm going up a grade, you know, a little bit of an incline. I'll hit that throttle for a little more assistance. It's just great. Great performing bike here. Come on, come on, come on. All right now. We're doing it. This darn bike might be becoming my brand new favorite, you guys. Dare I say. Dare I say. I'm just whipping around here with no trouble. Handling everything on the ground here. And this is, as you can see, it's varying terrain. It's like wood chips here. Then we go to kind of a mud ground, mud path, muddy. Oh, there's a little pond or something, a little stream or something back down in there. And we're moving, you know, we're going at a pretty good clip here too. Let's see if I can gear up, see how fast we can move through here. And so if you're doing something like this, I think 20 miles an hour is adequate. What do you think? I mean, I think so. And the suspension is awesome. You definitely feel it on a bike that does not have rear suspension. You feel all of this. I mean, you really do. I mean, another alternative would be to get a suspension seat post for bikes that don't have rear suspension, but this one comes with it, and it's great. So for stuff like that, 20 miles an hour, 500 watt motor is enough. It's enough. Now, where you start to desire more power is on flat ground like this, you know, and commuting. So this one, I think, is better suited for kind of the trails and park riding. You can do your commute on it. You definitely can, but you're not gonna get more than that 20 mile an hour. So keep that in mind. But this one is definitely staying in the garage. You get up to that 20 miles per hour pretty quickly. So we're up to 20, and that's where you're gonna stay. So I definitely feel it. I definitely feel the speed limitation, you know, simply because I've ridden bikes that take me all the way up to 28, right? So once you kind of get used to that, it may be, you know, a little bit of a letdown to only be able to go 20. Let's go up the hill. This time I'm not holding the 360 camera. So let's see what we can do. 18, and we had a pretty good rolling start. 16, 13. Yeah, I'll go all the way up there this time. How about it? No trouble at all. All right, here's some footage from riding at night, and I thought the front headlight worked really well. Now, I was mostly on roads with street lights, so it wasn't completely dark, but I was comfortable riding at 20 miles an hour and not concerned that I would hit something on the ground I couldn't see. Okay, let's talk about range. Fifth Wheel advertises 31 miles when you only use throttle and 51 miles when you only use pedal assist. I did a combination of both and I got about 20 miles on one charge. Now keep in mind that I'm on the very edge of the size and weight of what this bike can accommodate, so a lighter rider might get more range. So what do I like and what don't I like? Let's start what I don't like first. I wish the top speed on this bike were higher. I kept wanting to go faster when I was out there on the main road. When I was on the trails, the zippiness of this thing really shined, and the 20 miles an hour is really enough. Fifth Wheel, if you're listening, bump the next iteration of this bike up to class 3, and this will be a bad mamma jamma. I also wish the bike had a true rear brake light. That seems to be pretty standard on bikes in just about every price point nowadays. Now for what I do like. I was pleasantly surprised at how well the suspension works. When I saw that bright red spring, I thought, yeah, it makes the bike look cool, but does it really work? Yep, the darn thing works well, and the front fork never bottomed out on me either. I bet if you threw a suspension seat post on this thing, you might feel next to nothing going over rough terrain. Speaking of which, this bike is built solid. I had the most fun ripping through the trails, grass, gravel, rocks, you name it. And I didn't hear anything rattling and knocking. I'm sure I could break this thing, but I'd really have to try hard to do it. And then the 20 by 4 inch wide tires are my preference on folding e-bikes in general. So glad to see that this one has them. All right, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for riding with me, y'all. Stay tuned for more e-bike content because I have more on the way. Make sure to like this video if you found it helpful or entertaining. Share it with someone you think might be interested, and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Be good to somebody, be good to yourself. Later, y'all.